Excel Obstacle Course back with another fun challenge for Mac users. Here I have the new Excel Obstacle Course 2 for the Mac. Gotten a lot of requests for this one, and it feels good to finally get this one out there for you guys. As always, find the free download via GitHub in the description. Unfortunately, I had to substitute some of the obstacles. Text to columns and removing duplicates just weren't hotkey material on the Mac. But if you guys can figure out how to do those two without touching the mouse, put it in the comments. Maybe I'll mail you a cookie. I did find some interesting things to put in their place though. Just some general points to remember. Make sure you don't save this course upon exiting, otherwise you can't pull it up fresh to do it again. Also make sure you don't have any Excel workbooks open before you open this one. If you have opened the obstacle course on top of another sheet, just close all the sheets and reopen it again. That's to ensure that the timer works correctly. So first step, of course, is to put an X to start the timer. Right here we have a cheap keyboard for the Mac I picked up on Amazon for $15. Apologies, but the function key doesn't seem to be working on this. You get what you pay for. One day when I have more subs and watch hours, I'll afford a better one. So sorry about that. Note I'm using Option and arrow to switch sheets. This is actually a shortcut I like better than the other process I was using in the first Mac video, which was a 2-button process with the left hand and arrows. So use this instead, it's much easier. So I'll use Option and arrow to go to the first obstacle. This is Control A to highlight all. Hold Control Tab A, highlights all the cells within this boxed outline. Nothing magical about having a box outline. Excel Intelligence just selects nearby cells that are occupied. You know, if you're out here and do Control A, it does the whole sheet. If you're in the vicinity of other cells with things in them, it'll highlight all nearby cells that have data. The next obstacle is formatting. Control Spacebar to highlight a whole column, Control B to make it bold. And if you want to revisit the basic hotkeys, Control Spacebar and others are covered in the first obstacle course for Mac video. Hold Control Tab I for italics. For underline, you actually have to hold down Command and hit U. Control U does another function. And hold Control and tap number 5 to make these cells strike through. There we go. Next, this is where I was having trouble with this bootleg keyboard. The function key is just DOA. I think I'll try to get my money back. FN key is so necessary for these obstacles. So I'll show you the action with my fingers here, but I have to reach over to the actual laptop to complete the obstacle on screen, so you can see what it looks like. The substitute for end on an Apple keyboard is FN, Option, and then right arrow. To do home, it's hold FN Option and tap left arrow. So I'm going to do it on the actual laptop here. Excuse me for a second. Apologies for doing it this way. I think I can teach it adequately without it having it all synced up. This obstacle is how to paste formatting. So we're going to make a box here. Hold down Control Shift with one finger. Tap down and right arrow, and it's hold Control Tab C for copy. And I have to remember Command is the warp key in Mac. So I'm going to go over to this group of cells and I'm going to hit Command Shift and V. That pastes the formatting. So wherever you are, if you're over here, for example, Command-Shift-V will paste the format into empty cells. It's kind of like Format Painter. This obstacle is the font size changer. This is actually one of the first hotkeys I learned in my professional years. It was on a Mac and it was for Quark Express, if anyone remembers Quark Express. I used it when I was a graphic designer doing ads for a newspaper way back in 1999. So the very first professional job I had was composing ads. and the title was actually called Composer. Sounded weird, but I didn't think it was sophisticated enough to be called Graphic Artist. So if you hold down Command Shift and the greater than sign, or Command Shift and the less than sign, you can easily make fonts bigger or smaller. And again, I'm having keyboard problems. So first you make this one 4 steps bigger, Command Shift greater than, and the end result is shown here. It's one of my favorite hotkeys. I wish I could do that the same way in Excel windows. But funny enough, it actually works this way in Word and PowerPoint for Windows. Just not in Excel. Now some more formatting. To format numbers as dollars, hold Control and Shift, one finger, tap number 4. To do percentage, Control Shift, one finger, tap number 5. Hold Control Shift, tap the tilde or accent mark up here. That'll convert any formatted cells to plain numbers. And this is an unpredictable keyboard. I apologize for having to reach up there and do the laptop thing, but this is another one I'm going to have to do that for. For some reason, when you copy a cell, then hit Control A, you lose your clipboard. So this is how you have to do this obstacle, and it's using Format Painter. If you hold Control Shift and tap C, you get Format Painter. However, it doesn't lock it, it only gives you one stroke. So in order to do this obstacle, first get the Format Painter, Control Shift C, and you hold down these 3 buttons, Control, Function, and Shift, and tap left arrow. So it looks like this. I'm going to have to do it up here. Control Shift C, Control Shift Function all at once, and left arrow. Then we have to do Control Shift C again, and the 3 buttons at once, Control Shift Function, and then the right arrow. And there you go, I've got it all formatted, great, centered with a thick border. Find and replace for a Mac keyboard only took a while to figure out, but it is doable. And if you do it a lot in your work, you want to practice this. So first we're going to select everything with Control A, and Control H to bring up the dialog box for Find and Replace. You're going to find the Z's, tab over, replace with A's. And to engage the Replace All button, you can hold down Command and tap A. That's going to replace all for you. From here we can just hit Enter, and then hit Escape to get out of the box. In case you're wondering, there is conditional formatting on these cells, so that's why they change green when they're A's and red when they're Z's. Sorry if that confused anyone. Here's the auto filter obstacle. First I'll highlight my cells, although you can just put the cursor at the top of the cells you want to apply auto filter to. And then it's hold Control Shift one finger, tap L. To access the filter from here, you can hold down Option and hit down arrow. Now this part's kind of weird, and again I'm open to suggestions. Just comment if you think there's a better way to do this. In Windows you can select tick boxes with the spacebar, but you can't seem to do that here. So instead I'm just going to type the word cow and hit Enter. Keep in mind that if you hit Escape without tabbing off of this field, it just cancels what you're trying to do. So you type cow, then Shift Tab, and then tap Escape in order to complete the obstacle. And then we've reached the end. We'll hold Option and tap or hold left arrow to go all the way back. There we go. 7 minutes, pretty awful. You know, doing the course with this keyboard is kind of funky. I'm not going to go for an attempt to break 1 minute, but I'll do it as fast as I can. I'll close the Excel workbook. Remember not to save. Open it up again. we've got 2 minutes. So this is a challenge to you guys. How fast can you do it? I think you could do way better than this, especially Mac users out there. So apologies guys for this janky keyboard, but thanks for watching. Until next time.